as part of today's message, we're called to act on that word that was put in our heart, act on that vision that was put in your heart, that was put in mine, that divine assignment that was put on our lives. And often when we're called to do that and we have to take that step out, we need to step out in faith. And when we take that first step out in faith and we are called to let our light shine, we often don't allow it to shine as bright as it can shine because of what everyone else around us tells us, that we're not good enough, that we're not strong enough, that we don't belong, that, we can't do all these amazing things because of what everyone else has told us. That was my story too. I grew up as a kid who everyone told that everything about me was wrong. I grew up at a time when people told me I was worthless, useless, that, I wouldn't make anything of my life. And when we're called to let our light shine, sometimes those words can hold us back. But I want to share with you today a quote, and I love this quote so much. It's by Marianne Williamson that Nelson Mandela sometimes uses, and it goes in the front of my book, where she says, our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our greatest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. You see, it is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. But when we are called to step up, when we are called to act on that word that was put in our hearts, you see, because of everything that people have been telling us for so long, we start asking ourselves, back to that quote, am I worthy enough? Am I okay to be fabulous, gorgeous, brilliant, talented? Who am I to be all those amazing things? But today I want to ask you to really lean in and focus on the next line in that amazing quote, where she says, well, actually, who are you not to be? Well, actually, who are you not to be? Because it's so true. When we are called to step out, sometimes we have to take that step in faith. Sometimes we've got to step out when we can't see that pathway in front of us, sometimes when we can't even see that first step. And sometimes it's stepping out blind, stepping out when we can't feel the ground beneath us, but stepping out in faith, taking that step. And sometimes, I might not understand the vision that was placed in your heart. And sometimes you might not be able to see the vision in mine. But believe me when I say that there is more than enough room for us all to shine. And, when we think about stepping out in faith, when we think about letting our light shine, sometimes we can think that, it's about me or it's about you. But that somebody up there, that higher power, that God that's up there looks down and says, excuse me, it's not really about you. It's not really about me. It's never been, allowing our light to shine has never been about us. That calling that we're meant to answer, that step that we're meant to take in faith is not about us. It's about letting our light shine for that one person who is living in darkness today, that one person on the other side of the world that we've never seen, we may have never heard of, but that one person that needs our light to shine, that one young person that needs your story tonight, that one young person that needs you to speak your truth to them, that person that needs you to take the first step in faith so they know that it's okay for them to take that first step in faith. That's what it's about when we're called to let our light shine. It's about illuminating the darkness that is out there, the darkness that other people are in. It's not about us. It's never been about us. And when it comes to stepping out and acting on this word, it's sometimes a scary business. Sometimes we're caught up in fear. I feel it too. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I don't want to turn my light on today. I don't want to let it shine. I'm scared. And we all feel it. The world we're living in at the moment is a world where fear has become common. We wake up every day, we turn on the news, and every day, we're bombarded with what's happening, not just here, but around the world. You pick up that little device in your hand and you keep scrolling, and there's nothing but, more and more things that should not be happening in the world today. And when we listen to that news and we read it, often it breaks my heart, as I'm sure it does to yours. And often the things that we're listening to today make us angry and make us frustrated, and they lock us in fear and uncertainty and scarcity. And when we live in that space back there, it makes it harder for us to shine. But all the more, that's when we need to take a step. And that's when we can't step out in fear, because if we're living back here in fear, we're always going to be stuck, always unable to move. What we're called today to do is to step out in faith. And I'm not talking about faith where you're dabbling in faith. I'm not talking about faith where, you put like one toe in and you're like, oh, it's a bit cold. And not today. I'm not talking about that kind of faith. I'm talking about non-negotiable faith. I'm talking about radical faith. I'm talking about faith where you leap, and maybe you land, maybe you fall, but what if you fly? What if you fly? What if you fly so high that that person who's living in darkness gets to see your light? That's what we're called to do today, each one of us, because that assignment that's placed on our lives, that's what it calls us to do. And sometimes we take that first step, and then we take that second step, and we get in the car and we're driving down this little road on our mission that God set us on. And sometimes we hit a speed bump on that road. And we go, okay, I'm just going to pull aside and stop. Thank you very much. Done my duty for the day. I've driven down this long, dark road, shining my light all the way. And now it's my speed bump. That's it. I'm going to stop. But again, that somebody up there, sitting up there, comes down and says, hello. You see that thing in front of you? It's a speed bump. It's not a stop sign. Why are you stopping where I have placed a speed bump and not a stop sign? You see, we will often come up against speed bumps as we journey through this life, as we decide to step out in faith, as we decide to walk the path and let our light shine. It's not easy. We're going to come up on speed bumps that are various shapes and sizes. But often a speed bump is a time for us to slow down. Maybe it's a time for us to pull over to the side a little bit. Maybe sit down and have a cup of tea, take a break, rest a while, recover. Sit down and I'll sit with you for a while. Take all the time you need to sit when you sit. It's okay. It's okay in the world that we live in today to not be okay sometimes. To hit speed bumps, to stop, to maneuver over potholes and to stop. But when you're okay and you've recovered, we need you to get back in that car, and we need you to start it back on and put your light back on and get back on the road and drive, because there are, remember, other people behind there that need your light to shine, that need you to keep stepping up, to not stop at a speed bump, but to keep going when you're ready to get back in that car, when you're ready to answer that call, when you're ready to let that light shine every single day. Because you see, sometimes when we're called to let our light shine, when we're called to step out, we judge that step and we judge that based on fear based on our worst days. I've done it too. We imagine what our worst day was, how bad we felt that day. And we go, sometimes on our worst days, we're like, that's it, Nerissa. Thank you very much for your analogy about speed bumps and stop signs and whatever you talk about. But I'm sorry, this is definitely a stop sign. I can see it. It's bright red. It's in front of me. This is my worst day. I'm not getting out of bed. I am at rock bottom. I am not moving. That's it. Sorry, higher power, whoever you are. That's it. It's my worst day. We've all had it, right? We've all had a worst day. Yep. But let me ask you this tonight, and answer me honestly. How many of your worst days have you survived? 1, 2, 5. That's right, Tim, 10. Yeah. Actually, it's even more than that. It's every single one of them. You are here tonight in this place tonight because you are meant to be. You are here tonight because you have survived 100% of your worst days. Because when we get to our worst days, we put stop signs in front of us because we think this is the worst that it's going to get. But again, our little friend up there keeps showing up in places we don't expect, right? Our friend up there goes, hello, it's another speed bump. And maybe sometimes those speed bumps are ditches that we fall into. And maybe we need a little help from our friends to get out of them. But that's when that faith comes in to rise up again, to rise up one more day, to let your light shine, to step out in faith. Because each time that you do that, you are lighting up someone else's darkness. Back to that quote by the lovely Marianne Williamson, where she says, when we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. When we are liberated from our own fear, our presence like automatically liberates other people. So I ask you today, I ask you that when you are called, when that vision and that mission is placed in your heart and you're answering it, to step out in faith, step out in unwavering faith. You might hit a speed bump, you might need to slow down, but get back up and get back and let your light shine. Let it shine brightly, because know this, tonight in this place, you are exactly where you need to be. You are at the right moment in your life that you need to be, in this very moment now, right now. And you have everything that you need inside you. All you need to do is to let that light shine, and to let it shine bright. So as you go forward tonight and in the days ahead, all you have to do is let your light shine. That's right. Thank you.